Good evening. I am Miriam Abdul-Kawi, and here's what's ahead for you on 7 News tonight. The Prime Minister goes off on Jules Vasquez. You'll see his unhinged press release. And is your water supply safe? Today, the Statistical Institute of Belize backtracked on its statement about E. coli in the water. Plus, you'll hear from a Chinese tourist who was robbed of her possessions, including her passport, and she's trying to get back home. Also, what is the cost of an air carrier Belize has to pay to bring in the new airlines? We'll expose the new realities of air travel. These stories and much more are ahead on 7 News tonight, so please stay tuned.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
What made me want to start my journey in terms of owning a home was basically me having my own space, my own domain, and having something extremely special for my family. That feeling was indescribable. It was amazing, moving in the first time, seeing all the new furniture, the new paint, the new accessories. I was amazed. Home for the holidays means to me bonding with my family, having an amazing time in the Christmas spirit. I would highly recommend Atlantic Bank's personal loans for home renovations because of what it did for me. I fixed my kitchen, I fixed my storage, I fixed my master bedroom, my showers, you name it, I fixed it.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
Each year, dozens of animals and plants are taken from their natural habitats and sold illegally. This illegal wildlife trade threatens species with extinction and increases incidents of cruelty, from exotic pets like parrots and icons like the jaguar to key marine species like turtles and sharks. The demand for wildlife, their parts and plants is driving wildlife and plant populations to the brink. But you can help by reporting any illegal wildlife trade, supporting conservation efforts, and choosing sustainable products. Together, we can protect wildlife and preserve our planet for future generations.
Belize has over 200 miles of coastline that depends on marine enforcement teams dedicated to protecting our livelihoods and the future of our ocean economy.
Our role as an enforcement entity is for us to ensure compliance. And compliance and conservation goes hand in hand. Our motto at the Fisheries Department is sustainability for future generations. And most of the resources that we have gotten that we needed, we applied through the Blue Bond project, and we have got those resources to aid us with that.
Through the Blue Bonds program, Belize is strengthening governance, improving management, and enhancing monitoring of our marine resources. With advanced technology, drones, GPS, and real-time tracking, officers can respond faster and protect our blue space more effectively. Through the Fisheries Department and the Coast Guard, the government of Belize is developing a national fisheries enforcement and conservation monitoring strategy. This coordinated approach ensures stronger enforcement, better decision-making, and long-term protection of our marine and coastal resources, securing livelihoods for all Belizeans.
There has been a shift in the focus and interest in our blue spaces from the government. Therefore, our Coast Guard strategy had to align in that direction. And in doing so, we found some new partners. We were able to find common grounds to work with non-governmental organizations and to work with the Ministry of Blue Economy and the Blue Bond Permanence Unit as well, who has been very instrumental in coordinating our efforts to meet the requirement of those other agencies as well. The Belize Coast Guard is well integrated into that maritime focus. Our enforcement, our patrols, our operational designs has recently shifted to include a lot of emphasis on conservation efforts.
Belize is strengthening fisheries governance, improving the management of our marine resources, and enhancing the effectiveness of our marine protected areas. Together, we are more prepared, more united, and committed to protecting what makes Belize extraordinary.
Driving around, particularly during this holiday season, can be quite an experience. Families are out shopping, and the streets are buzzing with excitement. It reminds me that this season is all about connections, and it starts with how we treat each other, even on the road. When I'm behind the wheel, I always remind myself that being on the road is more than just following the rules. It's about looking out for each other and making sure we all get home safely to our families. This season, let's continue to be alert and be kind on the road. Be courteous, give way, and stay safe. A message from BEL.
Nando's Wholesale is the distributor for the full line of Badia spices, including the original complete seasoning, the perfect combination of ingredients and spices prepared to enhance the natural flavor of your favorite foods. Also, cinnamon powder for all your desserts, fruits, and beverages, and as special dishes. All these are available in commercial sizes or restaurant packaging. Nando's products are available at your local retailer or contact us at 222-5000. From Corozal to Toledo, Nando's is proud to be serving Belize as its #1 wholesale distributor for over 35 years. Wake up to positivity and inspiration. It's a fresh and diverse twist on your mornings. Tune in to Sun Up on 7 every weekday morning at 6:30 a.m. right here on your nation station, Channel 7. It's the morning show you don't want to miss.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
We begin our newscast with one of our top stories, where the Office of the Prime Minister issued an unprecedented statement today, and it left almost everyone who's seen it either shocked or concerned, or the Prime Minister's judgment. It's in response to a post made last night on Channel 7's Facebook page. It's a relatively minor story about Miss Universe co-owner, Mexican magnate Raul Rocha, who has been charged in Mexico with serious criminal offenses. The story notes that in October of 2024, Prime Minister Briceño and a pair of ministers visited Rocha in Mexico City to discuss trade, tourism, and other opportunities between Belize and Mexico. It made no other allusions or inferences. Other media houses have since also noted the connection. Well, the Prime Minister has lashed out, or more likely, crashed out, with an unprecedented statement from his office attacking Channel 7's news director, Jules Vasquez. The statement says, and we must quote it at length, Prime Minister Briceño was a part of an official government meeting with Rocha and others to discuss opportunities for trade and investment. Prime Minister Briceño has participated in such meetings around the world in his professional capacity, end quote. But from there, the release goes into a bizarre and unhinged, a dominant rant, saying, quote, the Office of the Prime Minister asserts that if Jules Vasquez is indeed on the hunt for corruption, he need not look far. Prime Minister John Briceño also met with the late Nestor Vasquez, father of Jules, on numerous occasions. That certainly does not mean that he was connected in any way with the corruption perpetuated by Vasquez. The release then goes on to falsely state, quote, the late Vasquez was caught embezzling funds from Belize Telemedia Limited in corruption most foul. In fact, Jules Vasquez himself was implicated because his father used his position at BTL to funnel exorbitant sums of money to Channel 7, a fact which certainly would have been known by news director Jules Vasquez. And after that extended attack on a journalist, the release then goes on to say it, quote, has no issue with the media or with fair, factual reporting, even in those cases where it challenges the Prime Minister or members of the government. And it ends with a catty flourish, offering the office of the Prime Minister does not take issue, though, with the skewed reporting and editorializing by the self-righteous, sanctimonious Jules Vasquez, who has no moral standing to speak on corruption. If these personal attacks without substance continue, the office of the Prime Minister will seek every legal recourse available to bring Mr. Vasquez and his runaway mouth to account. End quote. As we said, an unprecedented and bizarre attack. When we asked Jules Vasquez for comment, he would only say of the Prime Minister, "Is he okay?" For a fuller response, you can catch that on the Monday Morning Beef in a few days. We do note, however, that the Prime Minister's wildly irrational response comes one day after this newsroom emailed a Freedom of Information request asking him and the FIU for details about suspicious transactions reports from an Orange Walk credit union involving persons in his inner circle. And continuing with another top story, if you've been wondering whether you can safely use your tap water to drink, cook, or even shower, the short answer is yes. The long answer is that while the SIB may have detected traces of E. coli as they conducted the multiple indicator cluster survey, that has more to do with your home than the BWS plant. So rather than the water source, it may be your tap or receptacle that has the contamination. In a joint press conference with BWS, SIB, and MOHW, they explained that these findings and what they mean. Our very own Courtney Menzies was there and has this story.
Is tap water in Belizean homes safe to drink? The most vital source of water became a source of major concern after Love FM reported that SIB detected the presence of E. coli bacteria as an early finding of the multiple indicator cluster survey. It caused widespread panic and finger pointed towards BWS, who immediately clarified that the mix does not support conclusions about national water quality or about specific utilities. And today, during a joint press conference, SIB's Director General clarified the mixed findings.
The water testing results showed that at a national level, 33.7% of the population was at some kind of risk of contamination to their drinking water based on samples collected at the point of consumption, collected from a drinking receptacle. We acknowledge that this finding has understandably raised some public concern, and we want to address directly what this data shows. At the source level, where households first access their drinking water, such as the tap, dispenser, or water tank, results showed that there was no detectable risk of contamination to the drinking water of 70.2% of the population. 14% fell within the moderate risk range, while 9.8% were at high risk and 5.9% were at very high risk. With respect to drinking water at the household level, collected from a drinking receptacle, 66.3% were not at risk, while 15.3% were in the moderate risk range, 10.6% at high risk, and 7.8% at very high risk. The difference between contamination at the source and at the household levels is a key finding of the mix, suggesting that contamination can be introduced between the point where water enters the home and the point of consumption.
BWS emphasized that the testing did not happen at their plant, and the results are focused on individual households rather than the company.
Any produced water, it goes through 7 different procedures or processes. It's intake, flocculation, coagulation, clarification, disinfection, storage, and supply. So at every steps, we make sure that water is being processed for a potable reason or for drinking purpose. And I would like to ensure or mention that we follow minimum WHO standard, but we aim for AWWA and ISO standards, which are more stricter than WHO standards. Now, one more clarification is that at no point of time the survey was done at BWS plant as source. It was done at the household level, and at their source means maybe they have the tank, or maybe their tap, or their receptacle, or their water coolers, example. So it has nothing to do with BWS, and it was more highlighting about hygiene practices at household level, where we need to improve, and the intention is clear to public awareness purpose or educate people to be better, to improve their kids' lives, and nothing to do with BWS.
Castillo also further exonerated BWS by explaining that the mix does not measure contaminants in the national water supply, and further stated what it seeks to do.
The mix module on household water quality provides nationally representative data on the quality of water that people actually consume in their homes. It provides complementary data to the utility water testing that is carried out by the Belize Water Services Limited and the regulatory compliance monitoring done by the Ministry of Health and Wellness. Therefore, the methodology used to collect and test samples for this survey differs from the type of testing done by these two agencies because it seeks to measure something different. We emphasize that the mixed results did not seek to measure the presence of contaminants in our national water supply, but rather at the point of consumption in the home, regardless of where the household obtains its drinking water. The highest proportion of at-risk households, for example, was among persons whose drinking water is obtained from rainwater collection. An important point to note is that the presence of E. coli in drinking water does not necessarily mean that the person drinking it will become sick. However, it does indicate that over time, the household is at a higher risk of waterborne disease. The SIB stands behind the validity of all aspects of the mixed survey methodology and its findings.
Courtney Menzies, 7 News.
So why did the SIB announce these findings on a morning show, inadvertently implicating BWS and MOHW? Well, we asked them today at the press conference.
Did you guys not anticipate that there would be some type of widespread, hysteria? People hear, they just read headlines, they just hear one sentence. Did you not anticipate that maybe we should have gone about announcing this or putting out this information in a more, a more official way, maybe along with the ministry, a press release or a press conference like this to do it in a more calm way as opposed to just is out there on a morning show that clearly didn't do any type of fact checking or to reach out to other authorities to get any more information on it.
I wish that we would have had more time on that show so that our representative could have explained in a bit more detail. But that's the purpose of why we're here today, to give that clarification, to provide that reassurance, and to explain exactly what this particular water testing module was about and what the findings are saying and what they're not saying.
And we take a break now, but when we come back, you'll hear from a Chinese tourist who was robbed of her possessions, including her passport, and she's trying to get back home. And what is the cost of an air carrier Belize has to pay to bring in the new airlines? We'll expose the new realities of air travel. Stay tuned.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
Remember, not all light bulbs are created equal. Our lighting department offers a wide assortment of light fixtures and accessories to suit your style. So stop in today and get the right illumination for your homecation. And don't forget your B-Box when you make a purchase. Benny's, quality and savings.
On August 30th, 2023, Central Bank Governor Curry Michael, originally brought into the bank's senior ranks under the UDP, placed one of his close associates as administrator of St. Francis Xavier Credit Union. What was described as an interim measure has now dragged on for over 2 years with no end in sight. So the question is simple. Why is the government allowing Mr. Michael and the central bank to use heavy-handed tactics against the credit union movement?
The journey towards owning a home was a family decision as we needed stability and security. And it was a financial investment that we would have for our family's legacy. Getting a home loan from Atlantic Bank was very easy. The officers there were able to walk you through the process and you were able to ask questions. Moving into our home for the first time was a blessed and happy experience. I remember turning the key for the first time, and the family was so excited to see our new home where we'd be making new memories in.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
The next time you are passing creative marketing at 146 corner of East Colette Canal and Alenby, don't be shy. Come on in.
Welcome to Creative Marketing, where everything is possible.
We offer services like graphic designs for logos or banners or any other special request. Get designs printed on t-shirts for sporting events, special events like birthdays, or for your business. Get your polos or dress shirts officially embroidered with logos or business names. For special requests, our sewing department can get you fixed up with custom preferences. Our in-house name brands like Eliani's collection produces uniform dress shirts and blouses. For work or school, our Z-Tech Sportswear produces fisherman shirts and dry fit polos for males or females. Ask about other items. In other departments, we produce customized banners and fin feathers. At Creative Marketing, there's so much more. So next time you're in need, come take a look. Call us at 207-2023. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram. Creative Marketing, where everything is possible.
Nando's Wholesale is the distributor for the full line of Badia spices, including the original complete seasoning, the perfect combination of ingredients and spices prepared to enhance the natural flavor of your favorite foods. Also, cinnamon powder for all your desserts, fruits, and beverages, and as special dishes. All these are available in commercial sizes or restaurant packaging. Nando's products are available at your local retailer or contact us at 222-5000. From Corozal to Toledo, Nando's is proud to be serving Belize as its #1 wholesale distributor for over 35 years. Wake up to positivity and inspiration. It's a fresh and diverse twist on your mornings. Tune in to Sun Up on 7 every weekday morning at 6:30 a.m. right here on your nation station, Channel 7. It's the morning show you don't want to miss.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
We continue our newscast with another top story. Woo Yun-jun, also known as Anne, is a Chinese national tourist who was traveling with two others from Cancun, Mexico, when she decided to stop in Belize for a few days. But that's when she was robbed of her sling bag while walking a few yards away from her hotel. Her bag contained all her travel documents, including her passport and credit cards and her cell phone. Now Anne is basically trapped in Belize while she awaits for her embassy to assist her in applying for another. She told police that she was approached by a tall, slim, dark-skinned male who snatched her bag off her shoulder and ran into a back street. Since then, Anne has had no luck locating the perpetrator or recovering the stolen items. And now she is hoping that the government of Belize will provide some form of assistance to her since she has no money or credit cards. Here's more.
Tell us what was taken away from you when you were robbed.
My passport, two passports, old one and a new one, two credit cards, and I could remember about 50 US dollars, and ID card and a cell phone. The cell phone is a black one. The bag is black, yeah.
Okay.
I get some help from Chinese association. In the same day, a Chinese guy, his family name is John Eric, and helps me about a new passport. And the 21st, and he organized all my staff's information to Jamaica embassy. And after that, I tried to go to Bamampan police station and immigration to try to find some help from Belize government, like basic stuff. I was frightened and shocked in that day. So, the passport and the visa is so important to me, more than money and the cell phone. Because I have no visa and passport that I couldn't live here. I mean, I couldn't go anywhere. So, yeah. So the problem is I need to stay in the Belize maybe a couple of weeks, I'm not so sure. 2, 3, or 4 weeks. I need to survive here, like basic clothes, food, and I need to pay the fee, the dorm. But I met Canada, a guy from Canada. He helped me a lot, paid me, the dorm bed, 1 week, 8 days, yeah. Okay. So, and he bought food for me, that's all.
And continuing with crime news, she spent 2 months on remand for a stabbing incident that occurred in April of this year. But today, 26-year-old Erin Belizaire, who arrived at magistrate's court in handcuffs this morning, left as a free woman after her charges were withdrawn against her by the DPP's office. Belizaire was previously denied bail after her charges of dangerous harm and use of deadly means of harm were later upgraded to attempted murder. Her attorney, O.J. Elrington, explained what they had been facing in court prior to her release today.
Deadly means of harm in April of this year with the alleged stabbing incident at the park in Belize City. Subsequent to that, the charges were upgraded in September to attempted murder. So initially, the charges she had received bail for those charges. And then, however, after attempted murder, the magistrate no longer had jurisdiction to grant bail, and so she was denied bail and incarcerated at that point in time. So subsequent to that, we had applied for high court bail. Between that time, the virtual complainant, the person who essentially said that she had been stabbed, had made a further statement to the police indicating that she no longer wanted to proceed with any charges and that she would not provide any evidence if a trial were to take place. Despite that, the High Court judge, in her discretion, still denied bail at the High Court, and so we were left to wait and to see whether or not the DPP, the office of the DPP, would withdraw the charges, or if we would have to make a subsequent application to the High Court again for bail. Thankfully today, when we went at our scheduled hearing before the Magistrate Court, we were informed that the office of the DPP withdrew all charges against Ms. Erin Belizaire. So thankfully today she is a free woman and no longer has this matter and this cloud hanging over her head.
And continuing with crime news, this morning a brazen gunman fired shots on Faubourg Road extension in front of the police substation. A sergeant of police who was on duty reported that around 8:49 a.m. a black Nissan Rogue traveling west from Central American Boulevard down Faubourg Road extension was passing in front of the substation when he saw a person lifting his hands out the driver's side door and firing a single shot in the air. The vehicle then sped off and stopped at number 46 Faubourg Road extension. But when the SPU personnel arrived, there they found the vehicle, but no one was inside. Nobody was injured and no property damaged while police continue to look for the culprit. And he's only got a few days left as UDP party leader. Shine Barrow was at the police station yesterday reporting a burglary. It happened at what he says is his office on St. Charles Street near the airstrip. He reported that on Sunday, November 2nd, he secured the burglar bar door of his office but did not lock the main door before he left. And when he returned at about 5:30 p.m., he found the office door open and discovered that his workspace had been burglarized. The thief made off with a range of electronics and personal items with a total value of $7,500. The theft was reported 24 days after it happened. Meanwhile, last year, August, Beltrade launched its Belize Enterprise Empowerment Project, providing grant funding to micro and small medium enterprises. Well, today, Beltrade distributed a third round of grants and a final one for the year. Our very own Jo Marie Lanza was there, and here's what she found out about these new BEEP recipients.
Through Beltrade's Belize Enterprise Empowerment Project, 74 small business owners have received funding to take their enterprise to the next level. They received up to $7,000 in grant funding at the third Seed Capital ceremony that took place today. Executive Director for Beltrade, Ishmael Kiros, told us that they received hundreds of applications but were looking to award grants in 3 specific categories: startup companies, maturing enterprises, and exporting businesses.
So just to mention that the partners in our selection process have been the Development Finance Corporation, the Belize Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and the National Institute of Culture and History, together with representatives from Beltrade. And so the criteria that has been developed to assess, the applications that we've received really looks for, what stands out, in the business ideas that have presented. And looking at sustainability, of course, we're guided by green, blue, and orange, principles. And so anything that kind of, really speaks to that, and very importantly, also speaks to that sustainability aspect, which of course does not only mean environmental, it means viability. We're looking at what will have impact. And so what we've really been looking for across the different categories are businesses that really have strong potential, strong promise to either continue from the startup phase, continue to mature in terms of scaling, and of course, tapping into export markets in terms of the exporting category.
Applicants had to find a creative way to pitch their business for grant funding. And once they made it through the evaluation phase and were selected, then came the training part of the program, a 5-week course to provide them with all the essential skills and understanding of what is required to grow a business.
And then they go through a training phase. And so there are a number of training sessions that they have to participate in, all involving small business management. And so once they have successfully completed or attended 80% of the training activity, then they are eligible to receive their grants, right? That process will have developed a business plan, an investment plan, and that is what the funds are meant to basically realize, to go into. So either equipment, certification, training, new infrastructure, or different aspects that the business needs. So the plan is, because they then become clients of the Small Business Development Center, to continue with the support, the check-ins, the monitoring, and of course, to ultimately have reporting on the impact.
So, what will that impact look like for these small business owners? We asked them, and they told us how that funding will be put to use.
So I do handmade jewelry and other artisan products. I started in 2022, so it's been a little over 3 years that my business has been in operations.
So, how will you benefit from this initiative here with Beltrade?
So with my grant, I actually plan to start to get more high quality materials for my jewelry, and I will also be getting all the necessary equipment for the expos here in Belize. I will be getting a new tent, new table, new chairs, and other equipment that I will use to help make the days easier for me.
So Kenny Musgrave Cooking Class offers an authentic cultural and culinary experience. So this initiative will help me build a modern kitchen and increase revenue for my business and help create more jobs in the village.
Jo Marie Lanza, 7 News.
And in other news, today is the second day of the 8th Biennial Conference of the Caribbean Court of Justice Academy of Law. It's being held in Trinidad and Tobago under the theme, The CCJ at 20, Reflections on Caribbean Jurisprudence. This conference is expected to reflect on seminal developments in Caribbean jurisprudence from courts in the region and explore the role of the CCJ and other stakeholders in its future development. At the opening of the conference yesterday, Lisa Showman, a former High Court judge and now the General Counsel of CARICOM, explained some of what the conference will cover.
In 2025, young Caribbean lawyers born in this century are being called to the bar in a legal reality that is vastly different from that which most of us in the room have had to face. And this, in fact, is the challenge that the CCJ Academy for Law was created to address. The breadth and range of topics of this forum, from multiple aspects of community law to seminal jurisprudence on family law, sustainable development and technology, and perhaps my favorite title of all, the magnificent modern world of estates and probate practice, to our ongoing efforts on criminal justice reform and the Needham's Point Declaration that was the centerpiece of the 2023 7th Biennial Conference. This horizon that we will navigate in the next few days will provoke and stimulate discussion and deliberation as we are guided by legal luminaries that span our community and beyond.
The conference will end tomorrow. And earlier in the newscast, we told you about the E. coli scare raised by the Statistical Institute of Belize. BWS and the Ministry of Health has confirmed that their assessment is inaccurate. But if you're still unconvinced of the safety of your tap water, MOHW's Deputy Director of Public Health explained that there is no concern for an outbreak of E. coli or any waterborne diseases. She added, however, ways in which you can be more hygienic in your home.
At this point in time, there is no need for us to consider that it would cause an outbreak. Of course, it does highlight the need for better hygiene and for better hand washing practices in the home and for better water practices in the home. So it does highlight that we do need to work towards that in our population, and all of us are part of that But it's not a cause for alarm for an outbreak because it doesn't really show that level of data, for example. I'm just going to close off with a few recommendations for all of us in our homes that we can take home and we can start to implement them to have better and more safe drinking water at the moment that we're actually swallowing our water. So the first one is good hand hygiene. We did this a lot during COVID, but sometimes we go backward instead of forward. Remember, hand hygiene is hand washing before and after eating, after using the bathroom, before preparing your food, and after preparing your food. These are very important measures. A lot of bacteria get transferred through our hands, through our fingernails, when we touch doorknobs, light switches, when we shake hands, when we open doors, we touch money, we touch a debit card. All of these things are high levels of bacterial load, so we need to practice good hand washing in the home, in the school, and at work. Good food hygiene is important. Proper food storage. Don't leave food out in the stove all day. Wash your hands before you touch your dishes. Wash your hands after preparing food and before preparing your food. Separating vegetables and meat. Separating raw and cooked food. All of these are important, and these are places where contaminants such as E. coli can pass around in a household. Treating untreated water before consumption with chlorine or boiling. For example, we have a lot of persons in Belize who use water from rainwater sources or other sources that are not treated. So these persons need to be aware that when they are consuming this water, they are highly likely to be consuming contaminants such as E. coli, parasites, and other microorganisms. So we need to make sure we're cleaning the water before we're drinking it or using it to cook. Also, cleaning vats, reservoirs, water containers, water dispensers, 5-gallon jugs regularly, and keeping any water container covered with a lid.
She also emphasized regular cleaning of water bottles and other places where it's being stored, as well as ensuring that septics and outhouses are not too near to the home. And we take a break now, but when we come back, we'll tell you about the new realist of air travel, where new flights coming into Belize are and have to be courted with cash and confidence. Stay tuned for more news.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
Your security is our business, so we gonna protect you like a champion, like a champion.
Guess what, Mr. Handsome? Yeah, over there, Champion Security. This is the place to be. What does sign say? Champion Security. Here at Champion Security, we provide quality service. You know why? Such as triology lock, fire alarm, IP camera system, gate operator, biometric lock, and alarm system. Champion Security. Make a go check out what they go on inside of Champion Security. And boy, nice to meet you, my brother. Tell me a little bit more about Champion Security.
Well, welcome, Mr. Hanson. Here at Champion Security, we offer fire system, alarm system, camera system, gate operator, access control, and also trilogy locks and magnetic locks. Everything you need to do with security systems for residential and businesses, you could find everything here at Champion Security. We also consist of 12 technicians, and we offer technical support 24 hours. So anything you need for your security systems, you could find everything here at Champion Security.
Remember, guys, here at Champion Security, we live by our motto, where safety is our business. Give us a call now. Don't forget to check us on Facebook, Instagram, and all the social media platforms. And continue to shake it to the max all the way. Champion Security, the best place to be. We care for your safety.
You want to rent it? It's not a problem. We got remote gate.
One of the reasons I applied for a credit card at Atlantic Bank was because I travel a lot.
I'm always going here and there and everywhere, and having that card made my life so much easier. I could literally charge everything. I had no issues. I don't have to worry about carrying money. And that has been one of the most effective points. Using my Atlantic Bank credit card has improved my life drastically. I learned to budget properly, the online service that it gives, the features that it has, and also knowing that when I'm shopping online, it has a protective feature for it. Having an Atlantic Bank credit card, especially having two sons that are always wanting something. They want to shop here and they want to shop there. The good part about it is I get to look at Atlantic online to see where my spending is and to make sure I'm staying in budget.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
We continue our newscast with, but while Belize has more air carriers than ever coming for more cities across the hemisphere, it comes at a cost. Gone are the days when airlines would determine destinations based on pure touristic value. These days, it's money or nothing. We found out more at yesterday's tourism sector press briefing at the Biltmore. Jules Vasquez reports.
When new airlines such as Spirit open up routes to Belize, it's cause for celebration. But the arrival is the product of months of lobbying and negotiating, and now even paying airlines to add Belize as a destination.
I think post-COVID, the dynamics have changed in terms of airlift. In terms of you're trying to get a new airlift to your destination, and it is now a sort of arena where I would say it's pay to play.
And that means subsidizing these flights, either in marketing costs or actually paying for unfilled seats.
One of our major ways of doing it is to use marketing investment. So you invest along in marketing to market with the airlines. And I think that for us is a better approach than maybe paying outright for seats. The space is becoming more competitive, and I don't know if we'll have to go deep down that road, but we will continue to work to try and get additional airlift into the destination.
Like real talk, right now, if we had to bring a flight from Europe, we would have to pay insurance for seats.
We don't necessarily have to, like you said, pay for seats as much as more do a guarantee, a revenue guarantee.
Viewed optimistically, Malik says it's a gamble on our own product.
We're betting on ourselves because when we sit in the room with the airline executives and we say, come to Belize, take the plane, right? Your very, very expensive plane with your very expensive crew. So we're saying, come to Belize. Your seats will sell. You will sell out because everybody wants to come to Belize. And the airline executives say, you want to bet on it? And then they call the bluff and we say, yes, we'll bet on it. We will give you a guarantee that you are going to make the kind of money that we're telling you we're going. And it's that kind of confidence that you need to walk into those boardrooms with.
Especially when confidence comes at no cost and cash isn't freely available.
The fact is that we don't have the kind of money to pay to play the way other destinations, the way Cancun does.
And while Belize's tourism leaders are doing all they can to court those carriers, one of the disincentives is the airport fees. If you add the packed fee, those fees are close to $70, which is above the regional average. The panelists discussed that yesterday in detail.
I know the fees are high, but at the end of the day, we still have or maintain the ability to bring new flight routes. In fact, in 2025, we brought Spirit, and in December we will bring a new flight out of Montreal via Air Canada. So that speaks that even though those fees are high, that the opportunities still exist. It maybe, I can say, it makes the job a little more difficult, but it allows us to still be competitive to get those flight routes into Belize.
This is a conversation, Jules, that I've had with both CEO and Minister with regards to having much greater dialogue with the airport concession, not only based on the renovations that are being done, but there's a lot of work that needs to be done at the airport as our primary airport. Right now that we're looking at expanding into regional markets, European markets, South American markets, it is important that we have that entry point as feasible and effective as possible for us to be able to manage these flights. Obviously, a discussion needs to happen with regards to the fees that are being charged at the airport, and all of that needs to be worked on. I think it is in the best interest of private sector that is worked on, for us to be able to attract these carriers, for us to continue the work that we're doing regionally.
And from airports to cruise ports, Belize is about 20 years behind in getting a cruise port that can accommodate the largest cruise ships in the world. We've already fallen behind Roatan and Cozumel in the number of port calls in this Western Caribbean area. So when will the cruise lines write off Belize as hopeless for a port with a berthing facility? That's what we asked, and here's the response in detail.
The reality of the situation is that we need a mainland port docking facility. And to my knowledge, it is being worked on. And so we should be able to have some movement to see the numbers go up when that is completed within the next couple of years.
4 years?
Sorry?
You said in a couple is 2. Maybe it's more like 2 couples.
U.S.
2 U.S., sorry. Fair.
So I think that's one thing. And the rationale is that you have ships that are bypassing us right now because they're just too big to tender. And so that is really what's affecting the low numbers in the destination.
At some point, the cruise lines will just say, man, I tired of waiting now. You know, on a link me when you have something. Because you've been saying something will be coming for 20 years and it can't reach it. Are they losing patience with us?
I don't think so. I think we continue to engage the cruise lines. It's important. Both Mr. Tillett, our minister, continue to sit down around the table with all the major cruise lines, talk to them, encourage them. I do believe that our product and the fact that we are a significant shore excursion destination, I think that will never change, and it will always put Belize in a position where we're attractive to the lines. But at the same time, we have to respect the business, and we have to understand that they also have numbers that they need to reach. So what you're saying is true. We need to be able to give them the confidence that we're on that road, and I think we do. I think we continue to stay in contact with them. I don't believe that they are losing. I think we're okay.
The cruise port planned for the Port of Belize is still in the early stages of discussion and will reportedly cost somewhere in the range of $350 million US. And finally tonight, we visited our neighbor, Andrew Munnings of Munnings Funeral Home, who today put a different spin on Thanksgiving. He gave thanks by giving 50 turkey dinners to deserving persons. Here's how he explained it.
This has been an annual thing since we launched here. Every year, what I do, I would buy food from different vendors, and then I will bring it to the business, and then we will just give it out. Or I will just pay them for an X amount of food, and they give it out within the community that they are selling in. I mean, who wouldn't want a nice free plate of turkey dinner, right? But unfortunately, we are not able to supply for everyone that would want. So the hardest part is when the food is over, you have to turn people away. I mean, if we could have done it bigger, we would have, but this is just it's not an event, it's just a simple Thanksgiving dinner. I know a lot of people say, oh, but Belize will celebrate Thanksgiving, but we eat turkey dinner, you know?
Now, is it especially meaningful for you this year because, you know, you've had a trying year and you have reason for give thanks?
I mean, I don't want to look at the trials and all the past issues as my reasons to thank God. So this is just my simple way in just saying, thank God, and what God has given me, it's for you as well.
And that's all we have for you on 7 News on this Thursday night. Thank you so much for watching. I am Miriam Abdul-Kawi. You can find a full transcript of the news at 7newsbelize.com and see the streaming video on our Facebook page. Have a good night and a great weekend. And join Indira Craig back here on tomorrow night. Have a good night, folks.